Welcome to another episode of New England Beer Buddies with Mark and Garrett. We're continuing our Porter Pour-Off series today. Got a couple more great beers for you. And I think today we're starting with the Berkshire Brewing Company Drayman's Porter, which I'll hand over to Mark to talk about a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a Berkshire Brewing Company, is in South Deerfield, Mass. I've had a couple of their beers before, not this one before. According to their description, it is a full-bodied dark ruby brown ale, slightly sweet with notes of chocolate malt and coffee married to a delicate hop bitterness and flavor. So it sounds like it should be a pretty solid porter. It's the ABV is 6.2, which is feel like pretty standard. So I'm looking forward to trying this.
Excellent. Well, let's get to it. All right. So let's give it a shot and see what we think.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That is really good. And actually, one thing I noticed is that the head is there's much more head retention than in the other porters we had. So it really does. It looks beautiful. You kind of feel like there's a faint, it's not like a pure white head. It has a little bit of the darkness from the beer itself going through. So it looks really, really, really nice.
It does. It's really smooth. The maltiness they were talking about, I forget exactly what they had said. Ruby brown, sweet notes of chocolate and coffee. Yeah, I'd say that about sums it up. It is very, very smooth.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It's definitely more sweet than coffee. I would say you'd only get a bit of the coffee, I feel, on the aftertaste. It's definitely a lot more malty and sweet up front.
Agreed. All right. Well, I think that's this one. We can go to our sheets, and if we have any other notes on it, we'll make sure to put those at the end when we declare our winner.
Yeah.
So we're back, ready to do the next porter here, which is going to be a Mayflower Brewing Company porter, and it's just called Porter. Sorry if we were a little rusty the first segment. Hopefully we get a little bit better of a start here, and I'm going to go ahead and pour, and we'll get into drinking this one. I'll kind of chat while I do it a little bit. So they're out of Plymouth, Massachusetts. Again, fairly standard porter here. They describe it as a rich, complex brew that is smooth and full flavored. They have 5 varieties of malted barley, providing notes of roasted coffee beans and bittersweet chocolate with a hint of smokiness. So overall, sounds like a similar description to the one we just did, but we'll see where that smokiness plays in and how that all works out for us. So I'm going to pour away, and we'll get to this in just a second. All right, well, let's see what we think.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. It's interesting. This other one also had a lot more head than, at least the ones I remember from the last session we did. So
absolutely,
it's kind of interesting that the first two we pour and this one have lots of head.
I know. Mine I poured a little bit rougher than Mark's, but still, you can see them both. They're still hanging on there. They have that little bit of that, kind of caramelly color. This one I think is a little lighter than the last one, perhaps. Mm-hmm. I do kind of get that smokiness, but this one's a bit more bitter throughout. Not overly so, but definitely.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. It's
still fairly smooth, I'd say, but the bitterness kicks in just after first tasting, I think.
Yeah, and I also feel the bitterness is kind of accentuated because I feel there's less sweet flavors than in the other one. The other one had very, very like chocolatey, that sort of going for it. This is a bit more restrained in that end, and I feel it kind of makes the bitterness of the hops stand out a little bit more.
Yeah, you definitely have more of an actual hop flavor. Typically in a porter, you get so heavy to the malt that you barely even taste any sort of real hoppiness. So we'll do our scoring sheets, I guess, unless we have any other comments on there. We'll do this, and we'll come back to you in just a few moments with the winner of this pairing. Thank you. All right, so we're back with our results from both of these beers that we kind of pitted against each other today. The winner today was fairly clearly from both of us, the Berkshire Brewing Company Drayman's Porter. Definitely great beer. We already talked a bit about it, but one thing that we kind of chatted about off camera was it was almost a bit milky, kind of somewhere in a stout range, almost a milk stout. Not totally, but just in that kind of sense of the body.
Yes, a very creamy, smooth mouthfeel, and also the fact is just it was very malty with sweet, the notes of chocolate. Just really a very tasty beer. It was definitely one of the better ones that we've had in the entirety of this series, I feel.
Absolutely, it's way up there. I don't have the whole list in my head right now, but I know the Draken was certainly one of them, and there was another strong contender from last week. It was the
vanilla porter from Great North, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was one of our higher ranking ones as well. So another notable part about both these beers, I guess, that we were kind of chatting about is they did have that head that stuck around a little bit. The Berkshire was a little darker color to it, but just something I wanted to point out is that in both cases the carbonation was still really, really in check, which we had one, and I don't recall which one, in the past couple of videos where that wasn't the case, which was interesting because nothing we've done up to this point really had a significant head to it that kind of stuck around like that and was notable. Excuse me. These both did, but the carbonation was also very much in check, so I got to give them both credit on that one. As to the Mayflower, circling back around that a little bit, couple knocks on it. Again, a great beer, but the bitterness we talked about, they did describe the chocolate as bittersweet, but that was really barely there to me.
Yeah.
The bitterness probably came a little bit from that smoky side of things, but it was a bit drying on the mouthfeel.
Yeah, and it was something where it was still a very solid porter, but I felt it was a bit sort of hop forward, just not quite as I feel as like drinkable and well balanced as the Drayman was. Still a solid beer, but. And I think we mentioned like the appearances for both beers were very similar, very good, but we just felt that the sort of the taste and the mouthfeel, the Mayflower Porter was not the same as the Drayman Porter.
Absolutely, and I think that has a lot to do with the hops. You could taste the hops a bit more for a porter, anyways, in the Mayflower for sure, and that's probably part of what gave us the bitterness. It's probably also what had a little bit of that drying effect. I feel it's a little more hop heavy for a porter than most. So I guess our winner is the Berkshire Brewing Company. Please stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, and all that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little episode. And as a side note, I know Mark and I here are both wearing some Kelsen gear. That's not planned. We certainly aren't paid by them for our 6 subscribers or whatever at this point. No. But hey, we both like their stuff, so I just want to, address that. We're not trying to, be the Kelsen fanboys over here. We'll be fair, even though we're kind of decked out in their stuff today. That's kind of just what we have. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and consume responsibly, be safe, follow the rules in your state, don't drink unless you're of legal age to do so, and drink good beer.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers.